RFK Jr. guy, you
Mm.
heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him, but I can't hear him because he's got the weirdest voice. Yeah, I don't know. May I be a bit unfair, but he talks out the back of his throat. I don't know if that's a genetic thing or something.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, from what I can understand, he was quite a heavy user of substances in his younger years. So
Oh, was
whether
he?
that's affected him or not, yeah, very much.
He should be sponsored by Strepsil or something, shouldn't he?
Yes, yeah, have a proper Strepsil, and mind you,
Yeah.
whether he'd agree with whether he feels that they're because he's very much an anti
Yeah,
medicine man, isn't he? Anti-vaxxer,
which is
anti-this,
great, given it isn't he the Secretary for Health?
he is. He's
Right.
he's
So
the one
that's go on. Sorry.
who's taken the advice with regard to the MMR virus and said where it was
Oh,
previously American government advice that children should have it. Now he's not saying they can't have it, but he's taken away any advice so that the levels of take-up of that vaccine across the states are dropping off. So you've got outbreaks of measles in Texas and other states, and kids are beginning to look as though they might die of a preventable disease again because of his because of his doctrine, really, at the end of the day.
Was he, or is he, anti-vaccine? Is he in general?
Yeah. I mean, he was very much anti-COVID. He was in terms of the COVID vaccine, and he's backed up by. I mean, the guy who was talking, I can't remember his name now, but there was one particular doctor that was talking about the MMR virus over on this side of the Atlantic, and he was given the cold shoulder by the medical fraternity, and was proven to be wrong in terms of the MMR virus. But he's well respected by RFK Jr. So but what I was quite interested in, he held a press conference the other day. I'm not quite sure what it was about, but the interesting part for me was it ended up talking about Donald's health. Now I know I'm interested to know you're a man of declining years, aren't you? You're sort of.
I am.
Yeah, you're over the. You've seen your salad days, and you're on. One of the things that Mr. Kennedy was talking about was Donald had a testosterone test. Have you ever had a testosterone test?
No.
No. Why would somebody of declining? I don't know. There might be medical conditions that you had there. Obviously, there's on the women's side of things. They have occasionally have estrogen test, don't they, in terms of breast cancer and the like. A testosterone test, I think, is just like a I'm still capable in my salad. I don't really understand why you'd have that. Do you know why?
No, we could Google it and find out.
We could do.
We'd do that. Yeah.
But they apparently according to his physician, Trump's physician, he had the highest level of testosterone he'd ever seen for for any man over the age of 70. So I don't know quite what that says about him. I mean, RFK Jr. said he'd be very pleased for me to mention this so that the public know this. I'm not quite sure why. I just think it's all part of his image, but he's not. You remember when Vladimir Putin had all those, I mean, you can buy calendars now, can't you, in Russia, of Vladimir Putin
on the back of his horse.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, he was bare-chested on the back of his horse. It was very much
he's in good shape, to be fair.
It was very much a thing that was popular amongst the gay community, certain sections of the gay community, if you like. But I can't see Donald Trump bare-chested on the back of a horse. Maybe
I don't think he may have the best testosterone in the world, but I think he does pack a few pounds, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, and he wears these incredibly baggy suits.
He does.
Which, for a man of his wealth, you think his tailor might be there to give him some advice.
Well, they, once upon a time we'd have said they were put together by millets, wouldn't we? Really?
Yes, that reference might be lost on the US audience. Yeah, but anyway, apart from his testosterone, did he give any other insights?
Well, he did. He said that he eats. Which is again, I think is something he eats really bad food.
Right.
Now, but he only eats really bad food, according to RFK, when he's on the road. So if he's traveling around, and the argument to this is that he wants to know that he's not going to be made ill by food when he travels, effectively. So he eats McDonald's quite a lot when he travels.
Okay.
And RFK said, he eats candy and Diet Coke as well. And he said he has the constitution of a deity, like a Buddha, I suppose. I don't know how he's alive, but he is, which is a strange thing to say, isn't it? He's telling everybody how healthy the man is in one respect, but how unhealthily he eats.
Almost as a virtue.
Almost as a virtue, yeah.
Famous photograph, isn't there? I think it's shortly after they'd won the presidential election. There's Musk, Trump. I always get what is it? It's not JFK, is it? Which way around is he?
RFK Jr.
RFK Jr.
Yeah.
And one other guy. They're sitting on a table on the aeroplane on the way back, and it's full of McDonald's packs. So backing up what he said. And Trump tweeted it and said, "Making America healthy again will have to start tomorrow." So
yeah. And I mean, they're talking here. Somebody else was talking. A character called Joe Gruters, Republican National Committee chairman, told a podcast in October that he was shocked to see what Trump ate when they were on the road, and he had some information as to what he did eat when he got into
detail.
Hot fries waiting from McDonald's, and then he had that with a fillet of fish, a quarter pounder, and a Big Mac, all in one sitting.
What? A fillet? So isn't that a fried fish?
That's fried, yeah, fried sort of.
Have
you never had a fillet of fish, Guy? Have you never had a fillet of fish at
not from McDonald's? No.
You're a regular McDonald's customer, aren't you?
No.
Where do you normally have your burgers from then?
Don't really go into burger places very often.
Do you not?
No, unless we're going out for a meal, I might have a burger. But the McDonald's we used to go to a lot when the kids were younger because it's a treat, and then kids' parties and things. No, but that combination that sounds highly calorific and highly fatty, for what a better expression.
Well, yeah.
But didn't he also say something about keeping his blood thin?
Yes, that
I
was.
I heard this, but what did he say?
Well, you'll have. Well, I don't know whether you did. You have read there was some controversy about a month ago when he was photographed with bruises on the back of his hand. Did you see that?
Yes.
And there was a suggestion that was where. Forgive me, I forgot. Well, when they give you an infusion of something, they put what do they put into the back of your hand or on your arm? The catheter.
No, catheter is what you have when you struggling to go. Keep going. It'll come to me in a minute.
Anyway, they were suggesting that it was something to do with that. The critics were saying he's obviously not well because now the suggestion is that he's got his own
cannula.
That's the word we're looking for. Apologies,
not to be confused by medical staff. I would suggest.
No. Don't want to get
one's got a needle on it.
So. No, the suggestion was that he'd had a cannula in his hand, in the back of his hand, and that's where the bruise had come from.
Well, that makes sense because that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he's come out and said, no. This isn't anything to do with cannulas. This is to do with the fact that I take a high daily dose of aspirin.
Crikey.
And it thins my blood.
Well, yeah, it would do.
And he's been told, his exact expression was that they say aspirin is good for thinning out the blood, and I don't want thick blood pouring round my heart, he said. I want nice thin blood pouring through my heart. Does that make sense? And frankly, no, it doesn't to a degree. I mean,
not if there's a load of cholesterol sort of bugging you up, I wouldn't have thought.
And if you fall over, a man of his years, and cut yourself, then your blood is not going to clot very well if it's had loads of the effects of a high aspirin dose, sufficient that it gives you bruises on the back of your hand.
This reminds me a bit though of. Do you remember he got COVID during his first term?
Yeah,
and he was given access to goodness knows this, that, and he came out within a day and said it was the fastest recovery they've ever seen. This sort of language, the healthiest man I've ever seen, the most testosterone ever. It's typical Mr. Trump, isn't it?
It is.
It never stops, does it?
No.
The stuff that comes out of the White House.
We
It's going to be really dull when he.
we well, it is. The two things spring to mind. One is we've got a friend, and we'll leave them to decide who they are, that used to run their own medical. When he was ill, he didn't take pay any attention to what GPs said. He used to think if he took a load of fruit and veg to clear it up, or orange juice he'd drink all day long, or what have you, to try and for serious conditions. And I think Trump is a bit like that. I think he thinks, as is RFK, that they know better than the medical profession and the scientists. And you're talking about how he came out of that COVID thing. That just brings me back to that press conference where he was talking about ingesting bleach, and the look on that woman's face.
Yeah, there was Dr. Anthony Fauci, and then that lady. Who that was when he used to be on the stage, and there was about 10 people behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know who came up with that idea, as opposed to when we did it. There was a podium, wasn't there?
It was, yeah.
And next slide, please. Very low tech.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
It'll know something of the 1950s. Yeah. But no, so I'm just interested, really, that he feels that in terms of his health. I mean, he had a cognition exam in January, which he said that he aced, that he didn't have any problem. Do you think? I mean, all this bluster and boosterism and talk of how healthy he is. I mean, there's part of me that thinks it's a bit like it's a court, isn't it? Really. It's the court of St. Donald at the White House, and everybody, all of his courtiers, are going to say whatever he wants them to say. It's a bit like the Kremlin used to be in the 1970s. I don't really remember when Brezhnev died. Brezhnev was perfectly well and really healthy until the day
he wasn't.
Exactly.
It took about 6 months to announce he was dead, didn't it?
It did, but he looked as though he'd been embalmed. When you saw the pictures of him wandering around, he looked so ill. But he'd been dead for about 3 months when they finally announced that he'd snuffed it. And this feels a bit like the same. There's no real truth coming out. It's all just nonsense, which,
It is. And you don't know whether this particular interview that was given was just an off-the-cuff thing or part of a media plan just to take the story in a different direction.
Yeah.
I doubt it'll be picked up much, and it's only because we probably trawled through the newspapers that we came across it. For me, it's one of those funny moments when, with all the trouble in the world, you can just smile and go, really?